Right, welcome back to Another Knowledge. And yeah, I was talking to someone in the comments thing, right, or whatever, talking to me in the comments about, they were basically saying, right, check out this person's videos and this person's videos, right, we're giving us a list of all these video people, and of course they were all shells and that. They were saying like, oh, you'd be amazed at how many of these celebrities are transers and all this, right, and obviously I'm aware that all the celebrity ones is transers, right? But it's obviously a lot more than just daft celebrities, right? This sort of system and that, right? And that's basically the type of works that, like me and others and that have been doing on these videos for quite a long time, It's like, and it extends a lot more than just the daft celebrities on the TV or whatever, right? And, so it's time to reiterate and go back to a bit more of the, the older knowledge and, reiterate some of the knowledges. Right, so I'm looking at the Cybele, which is the mother goddess of Rome, right? The mother goddess of Rome, right? And what this person didn't get, right, was that all this stuff is code, right? They were basically taking it literally, right, and thinking that these things existed in ancient Rome, right? Which of course is nonsense. It's basically, this is a code for reality, for the real, the present day reality, what you have, right? So when you have this Cybele, right, this is basically a code type of thing, like an alternate persona for the queen, the real queen that you have now, which is that Queen Elizabeth II. See, so this is a code type of thing, right? It's Cybele, right? This is where we go back to the cube and the book ideas, right? So here we have the code of this Cybele, right? So Cybele, sometimes referred to as Kybele, right? So there's your cube idea again, right? And if you refer to me videos I've done about the cube and the book, so the book is the cube, right? The good book, the Bible, right? Is the book is the cube. So Cybele, the Bible, say, it's all like code. Of course, the ancient Roman Empire didn't actually exist. It was basically something that added on to the sort of biblical ideas, right? Really in about the 18th century with romantic authors such as Walter Scott and all that. That's when they added on that Roman Empire type of thing. Because if you read the Bible, like the idea of a Roman Empire isn't in the Bible. It's just something that they sort of tacked on at the end of it to expand like the biblical storyline and all that. Right? Basically created in the 18th century by Walter Scott and all those romantic writers. So here you see, read Cybele, Cubelia, read cube. So the book and the cube, read the book and the cube. Cuvova, Kybele, the cube, see. And so basically that's like the idea of the Bible, see. The Kybele, the Bible, the cube, the book, end of, right? That's what that is. So you have the Gauli of Cybele, right? And the Gauli was part of a castration cult, right? The Gauli devoted, right? You've seen that one before, devoted themselves to their goddess or their queen, right? By castrating themselves, cross-dressing, and stuff like this, right? Of course, tax, well, obviously you've got tax. In reality, you pay tax, right? So that's what it's all about. It's a code for the sort of reality of what, the real world, as they call it, or, what people think is the real world anyway. So the Gauli were eunuchs. Eunuchs, and you can also, this I think is specifically is referring to like a male into female type of idea, right? But you can also get the opposite way, as we see in like, reality, you can get females into males as well, right? And the Roman gender norms, whose worship incorporated into state religious practices, right? So that's today's world. You always see the idea, right, of the civil service in court, right? Eunuchs appointed and the most faithful followers, or they train lords, they try the free, right? So obviously, there's stuff going on all the time. And they're serving the sort of rulers in a civil service capacity. Right? The eunuchs would always serve the royal court, traditionally, and in today's reality. Right? Like a eunuch, like what's he called? Richie Sunak. You know what I mean? And Andre Agassi, right? So obviously all eunuch servants of service. So you always say civil service, right? So the civil is like the civil, right? Same thing, right? Yeah. The permanent professional branches of a state's administration, right? So we've seen the administrative eunuch idea before, right? Like in the Ottoman Empire and the Chinese and all that. And they originally applied to the work of the British East India Company. It says here, excluding military and judicial branches and elected politicians. Of course, nowadays, basically that's changed. The elected politicians, are all obviously eunuchs. So as your military and your judicial branches, say, civil service administrators. So basically these are all tea drinkers, right? Eunuchs. The civil service, see, this is a servant of Cybele. It's a Kurd, right? Civil servant, a public servant. Servant of Cybele. The diverse workplace. You always see some some present day applications, right, of the Kurd, right? See, Ghali Group, Services Archive, Geotechnical Engineering Services, the Ghali Group, obviously a group of eunuchs, right? Civilian Gallantry Operation, the Ghalis. See, I always put the two Kurds together. Civilian Gallantry. The George Medal, because the George was the king at the time, right? The face of the enemy, the Janus idea, right? Mr. Ghali v. Inverclyde Council. Yeah. That's got to be a hex on it. It's a lovely civil service, serving the Queen Cybele. Of course, here's your present day Queen, right? Whatever monarch is on the throne, they use the same codes apply, right? They use, if that, like I said, out of male monarch, they would use like the type of male characters. Of course, with a female, they use the female type of representations, right? And there's a nice bit of code for you. Elizabeth Studs. Yeah, we're having the Saurus and Saurusism, which is a eunuchism, right? Eunuchs were very important and royal servant, right? Why are eunuchs so important to royal family, see? Because they serve them in the civil life. They're their servants. The ancient times, see, Kurd. They were not afraid of starting a rival dynasty So why the kings of eunuchs, same today, see, applies to today, not some sort of a fantasy of the past, see. One that could read from this, like the idea of civil. You have live, right? Live. So you have live turning up a lot in our servants' names and that, see, live. The live idea, see. 32. There's a 9. And 36. 666. Here's your 32. Not much doubt about it, like, is there? Of course, whenever you see your ancient idea, right, it's to do with these people, right? So, you know, Freemasonry, the ancient Egyptians here. Yeah. Ancient Egypt and the Islamic destiny there. Right? The ancient, see, the ancient is always to do with these. So whenever you see ancient, you know what you're dealing with. You know you're looking at the code, right? As opposed to like a reality of something that actually existed, you know, several thousand years ago or whatever. It's basically a code for this, for these, right? End of like. And there you go, right? Ancient, mystic, oriental masonry govern the order to present day. So there you go.